The Detroit Lions acquired Za'Darius Smith at the trade deadline, and Detroit Lions fans, especially one like myself who's been clamoring for a pass rush, are ecstatic, man. Even with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, it's just a type of swag, man, and we know that this guy will help our team. And I forgot to mention this in the video I did yesterday about Za'Darius Smith, and shout out to the people in the comment section, not only on the video, but on the live stream as well, Syndicate Sports Detroit. We go live on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays over there. They mentioned the striking comparison that Za'Darius Smith has on Rasheed Wallace, the former Detroit Pistons, who the Detroit Lions acquired. Let me tell you a little story, man. If you guys are under the age of 20 or not familiar with basketball, the Detroit Pistons back in the early 2000s were like a team on the come up. We had Chauncey Billups, we had Ben Wallace, we had Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince. We've been talking about the Detroit Pistons for a while. I make, sometimes I'll bring them up for a comparison. But we had a team, and we kept getting beat by the Nets. We kept getting beat by these teams in the Eastern Conference, and we just couldn't get over the hump. And in the middle of the 2004 season, the Detroit Lions traded for Rasheed Wallace. Now, Rasheed Wallace, by comparison, as far as personality, they got a lot in common with Za'Darius Smith. Rasheed used to get in trouble a lot with the refs and in the game, but he never failed to deliver. Now, that's not the case with Za'Darius Smith, but when people saw him, you instantly kind of like, wait a minute, he does kind of resemble Rasheed Wallace, but that's not the point necessarily what they look alike. It's the point of a guy being able to bring a kind of a locker room presence and bring that presence to take us over the top. Now, this is a lot to put on one man. I'm not just going to put him on like, okay, if we don't win the Super Bowl, it was because of Za'Darius, he didn't do enough. He can only do what he can do. But Rasheed Wallace was that guy that was able to get in the paint, box out folks, and deliver in the paint. And that's something that the Detroit Lions were missing. They had big men, but they didn't have a big man like Rasheed Wallace. I mean, this dude battled back and forth with Shaquille O'Neal and stuff like that, right, in the 2004 playoffs. Now, I remember going into that Lakers game, and I thought we lost. There's no way. I'm like, the Lions would be fortunate to win one game. I'm sorry, the Pistons would be fortunate to win one game. And lo and behold, the Pistons said, how you like me now? They came out. And if it weren't for Kobe Bryant hitting a miraculous shot to send game 2 into overtime, which the Lakers wind up eventually winning, the Detroit Lions would have probably swept the Los Angeles Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. I mean, and this is when the Lakers assembled this power team. So I compare the Lakers to the San Francisco 49ers, right? Christian McCaffrey. You've got Brock Purdy. You had Ayuk before he got injured. You got Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And they're kind of the power team of the NFC heading into this year. And the Detroit Lions last year, you're talking about a guy. I'm going to keep it a buck. We have Za'Darius Smith. In the San Francisco 49ers game, we are going to the Super Bowl. That is not a doubt. If we would have had Za'Darius Smith in the NFC title game in 2023, early 2024, we're in the Super Bowl, our first one ever. I strongly believe that. We just was missing that piece to get the opposite side of Hutchinson who could get to the quarterback. If you go back and you look at the people that was and it's shaping up the same way. It's shaping up the same way. Now, this is, like I said, this is a lot to put on Za'Darius Smith. But let me tell you, I looked at the stats the other day. Matter of fact, it was yesterday, Friday, the 9th of November. I looked at the stats. Do you know, okay, this is going to blow your absolute mind. Aiden Hutchinson has 7.5 sacks. He has been out for 3.5 games. You know, the second leading sack person is Aleem McNeil. It is a carbon copy of what it was last year. Aleem has 2.5. Aiden has 7.5, missed 3.5 games. Aleem McNeil has 2.5. He probably will get his 5. So it's a carbon copy. And then the third person was Alex Anzalone. Now the third person is Malcolm Rodriguez with 2. Alex Anzalone had 3. So, again, it's a lot to put on Za'Darius Smith. Like, oh, he's going to come in. You can't replace Hutch. He knows that. We know that. And his job is not to try. But just like Rasheed Wallace completed the team. Now, we are missing Aiden. And as far as production-wise, maybe Za'Darius isn't enough to bring up the production. I mean, he's only got one side. He can only do what he can do. He's one man. It would be, if Aiden Hutchinson was here, it'd be done for me. I would be like, we're going all the way. We're going all the way to the Super Bowl. I still think we're going to the Super Bowl. I still think Za'Darius helps us get there. But Za'Darius could have been just with the infectious smile in the locker room, the veteran presence he's going to bring to those young guys. Because we still have a young team. I think we have like the second youngest team in the NFL or something like that. So Za'Darius said it in his press conference yesterday, help the young guys. Right? He understands he's not a young guy anymore, but he can still work. And don't get it twisted. We still got time to go get a Jason Pierre-Paul. Yannick Ngakoue was claimed by the New England Patriots. I saw that the Cincinnati Bengals would have, if he wouldn't have got claimed by the Patriots, the Cincinnati Bengals were going to claim him. He would have stayed in the AFC North, and the Cincinnati Bengals, they need a pass rusher. Trey Hendrickson is literally all they have. So they still think they in it, so they would have taken Yannick. But if we can get our hands on like a Jason Pierre-Paul, maybe those two guys can help take some load off from the loss of Hutch. And maybe, just maybe, we make our first Super Bowl, and Hutchinson, we hear that he's going to play in that Super Bowl, which I believe firmly that he's working his behind off to get there. So not only the comparison visually between Za'Darius Smith and Rasheed Wallace, but just that piece to take us over the hump. And maybe, even though Za'Darius cannot make up for the production of losing Aiden, maybe he can bring something in the locker room very similar to what Rasheed Wallace was able to bring on the court. Za'Darius can do the same thing on the field. Rasheed Wallace brought to me, like the Pistons, you had Chauncey and all them guys, and they weren't dirty players and stuff like that. It wasn't like, I'm not saying the bad boys from the 80s were dirty, but it was a different sport back then. But they called them the going to work Pistons. And Rasheed Wallace was just that piece. Not only was he a big man, but he was that piece that we needed to really be able to take us over the top. And I think that Za'Darius, in more ways than one, not just his presence on the field, but his presence in the locker room, his presence on the D-line. You saw the video yesterday that he's doing a gritty, instantly goes inside the D-line and instantly tries to kind of break the ice a little bit. I mean, these guys don't know him, right? Some of them maybe never met Za'Darius, but his job, he knows what his job is. It's not to replace Aiden. It's to be Z. He said that yesterday. So, I mean, this is crazy to me. And I'm starting to get like, you guys know I was huge on the pass rusher, and Za'Darius Smith fits the bill to me. I'm fine with that. I'm just so hurt that we don't have Hutch at this point and how that could hurt. But you know what I'm looking for now? I'm looking for a Josh Pascal, a Muhammad, to see what happens with him as we wait for this video is being recorded before the elevations, the roster moves. So I'm kind of seeing who's going to step up. And I thought Yannick Ngakoue had me thinking, it might be another person that gets cut. It's unfortunate, though, because the Lions will never claim this person because they got to go through a waiver wire. So unless it was a huge contract or something like that, when I say huge, I mean like $6-7 million, they'll never make it to Detroit, with us being 31 in the ranking. But a Jason Pierre-Paul, shout out to the person who put in the comment section after I made my video a couple of days ago, was like, sources, aka his agent, which if you go back and read it, it does seem like a very agent thing to do. So maybe a Jason Pierre-Paul, man, come in. If even with Za'Darius, man, I think if we had Jason Pierre-Paul, I really do get 20, 25 snaps out of both of them. I think that would be huge. So anyway, Za'Darius Smith, man, is he the Detroit Lions Rasheed Wallace? Now, here is something crazy. This is something crazy. I'm not a jinx guy. I'm not like a what do you call it? I don't really know. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but where if something happens, it's a sign. Like I'm a sign dude, but at the same time, I'm not like crazy Looney Tune with it, right? So check this out. This crazy. Rasheed Wallace, what happened? We traded for him in the midseason of 2004. The Detroit Lions go win the NBA Finals in convincing fashion. Za'Darius Smith, the Detroit Lions trade. I'm literally getting goosebumps right now. We trade for Za'Darius Smith the midseason of the 2024 season. Could he be the one that helps us go all the way? Exactly 20 years from the Pistons. Well, not exactly, but in the 20-year same 2004, 2024. Now, and it's the 2024 season. Just saying, man, something to think about. Man. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Shout out to the chat and comment section for reminding me. I forgot. These videos are recorded off the top of the head, and sometimes I don't remember everything. And I go back and I'm like, dang, I said the wrong thing, or I forgot to mention this, which was a huge part of the entire video, was mentioning the Rasheed Wallace, Za'Darius Smith comparison. So thank you guys for that. Of course, you guys know we hit 25,000 subscribers. So here's what's going to happen. After the game is over, meaning Sunday Night Football is come and gone, Monday gets here, sometime next week, we are going to have the 25K giveaway. It's going to be the same thing that you did before, just a little more. I think I might do like a video illustration of what you guys need to do. I'm going to put this out here right now. If you do not, whether you're a member, and members, I haven't forgot about your giveaway. Maybe I'll have that because I'm going to order 2 cases of helmets. So if you are a member, it doesn't matter who you are. If you don't follow instructions to the T, I will not add you in the giveaway sweepstakes. Okay. So I'm going to try to demonstrate exactly what you need to do. It's going to be a lot like last time, so I can copy and paste these. This take a long time. I had over 300 entries the last time we did this. Okay. So, but fortunately, I only have to do this every so often. So that video will come. It will happen sometime next week. I'll do a video, and in my videos leading up to the giveaway, I'll give you plenty of time. You will have the same amount of time you had before, 24 hours, which is a long. Listen, the bigger we get, I might have to cut that down to 3 hours, 2 hours, or something like that, because these entries, people who don't comment, come out of nowhere when we have a giveaway. So it gets more and more difficult to be able to do these things. And you're talking about 500, 600, 700 entries. Now, if I can find a way to streamline that and where I don't have to do as much work, then we'll keep it a day or something like that. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there. It will happen sometime next week, and you will know leading up to it. Okay. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you again for 25K. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. And as always, go Lions.